following show contains adult content. It's not our intent to offend anyone, but we want to inform you that if you are a child under the age of 18 or get offended easily, this next show may not be for you. The content, opinions, and subject matter of these shows are solely the choice of your show hosts and their guests, and not those of the Entertainment Network or any affiliated stations. Any comments or inquiries should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for listening.
To the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
Wake up, America! It's time for the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY.com, West Palm Beach's #1 internet radio station. Here's your host, the Pipeman.
Yo, Motivational Monday, Positively Pipeman, here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, and we're waiting for the pet health guru because he's in new places, and he will be here shortly. So let's bring on Studio Nut. We are going to talk a little bit today about the environmental influences on pets, but we're also going to talk about later in the show cash management for your business. And that's so important in 2026 because, man, it's hard to manage your cash nowadays with tariffs, wars, taxes, all kinds of stuff that just makes it unpredictable. There's businesses out there that have been shutting down that have been around forever. Spirit Airlines just happened after 34 years. They did not properly manage their cash. And so that's what we got going on, but we are going to talk about pets as soon as the pet health guru comes on. But I do want to start with, I did cover a show this weekend by a band called Vanilla Fudge. They're from the 60s and the 70s. And so I did an interview with Carmine Appice. He's a legendary drummer that formed Vanilla Fudge, also formed Cactus, which is also going to be playing soon. He also does a hot rod show like at Rod Stewart because he was the drummer of Rod Stewart. So he's 80 years old and he is so busy. And let me tell you, I went to a show. It was in Boca, and oh my God, it was such a great show. It was incredible. I go to a lot of shows, and I was way more impressed than I thought it would be. It was a great show, and man, it was a packed house. People in Boca, they love Vanilla Fudge. I personally want chocolate fudge, but hey, to each his own. No, I'm just kidding. So, Juan, you laughed. It's for the Wednesday show, but,
I didn't say anything because of that.
Yes, but it just dawned on me why you laughed, this second. Okay,
chocolate. That's okay.
Nothing wrong
with that.
I think it's more like is Vanilla Fudge? Yeah, never mind. I think it was just something to do with you being somebody of color and me being a gringo that made me think of what you were really meaning by that. Just saying. And I have a bone to pick with you too, by the way. While we're waiting. Okay. So how come you didn't warn me? Actually, I already knew, but you should have warned me anyway. That if you're going to mix different, people from Latin origins, that it might end up putting I don't know, when you were in science class and you put two things together and then it started smoking and blew up. I think that's what happens. Because, man, I just got to say, it was positively batshit crazy.
Well, that's what makes it fun, right?
I was trying to think of a way to say it positively, okay? So, and I got confirmation because I did meet someone else who was only half of that combination, And when I said the combination, they're like, "Oh yeah, what the hell is wrong with you?" I, I, what can I tell you? I don't know.
Right.
Is that? Let me ask you a question, though, Juan. Is there a reason that you don't date Latin women?
I have in the past. I don't
Yeah,
really have a
exactly.
preference.
It's in the past, man. It's in the past. So, did you learn something? I also learned that a lot of Latin women, they like gringos because they're kind of sick of the Latin guys. Like, but it's no different for me. Okay, listen, we have our show coming on tomorrow, The Wandering Jew, Pipeman, The Wandering Jew, where we're battling anti-Semitism and spreading peace, love, and happiness, and being united throughout the world. But I gotta tell you that I don't know. Every time I meet one of my tribe, I'm like, oh, I can't even deal with this. So maybe I understand you. Okay, we can stop the bullshit already because Pet Health Guru is here. So let's bring the Pet Health Guru on.
Sorry about that. I'm glad to be back. I'm obviously working remotely today.
Yeah, well, I would like to see how your internet is today compared to usual. Like, are we on the right time now?
Let's hope. I mean,
Oh, look at that. That was perfect. Are you at the new location?
Yes, we're at the new location. I actually have my office now. It's obviously I haven't decorated yet, but
So I think your internet problem might have been fixed. What do you think, Juan?
I mean, the time is right, but he's still a little.
But at least the timing is not
the timing,
lagging.
Yeah, and he's coming through pretty loud and clear.
yeah, hopefully they got us great lines here. You know, brand new hookup and everything. Industrial.
Nice. Nice. So are they doing anything there for your new location that could have an environmental influence on pets?
And our new location.
Oh, hold on a second. We have somebody interrupting us here in the show, so we're going to bring her on the air. You're live on the Adventures of Pipeman with the Pet Health Guru. Who's speaking, please?
This is Rebel.
Oh, hello, Rebel. Maybe you didn't know that when I said I'm about to do my show that I'm on the air now. And you're supposed to be too.
I'm doing another show at the moment, but I didn't want to miss Bill. I wanted to say hi.
Well,
remind everybody how good it is to listen to the Pet Guru.
Well, there it is. The Pet Health Guru. Rebel just came in to give you kudos, Bill.
Thank you.
I don't think that's the real reason she called, but she sure came up with an excuse real quick.
There's no excuse.
Oh, is that why you? Is that really why you called?
Nah, some other question as well. But I don't pass up any moment to talk to Bill.
All right. Well, why don't you text me your question instead of interrupting my show? What the hell is wrong with you?
Lots of things at the moment, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, we love you, Rebel. Like, because nobody else will, but we love you.
Later, y'all.
Bye-bye.
It's okay. She's only been with the network for 12 years, so it's not like she
12?
knows better.
12? More like 17.
Has it been that long?
Yeah. She actually started off as a show on the station. That's how it started. But then she couldn't afford to pay for a show anymore, so I put her into slave labor, and here we are.
Oh, is this the equivalent of like when I go to an expensive restaurant and I can't afford to pay it, so I have to do the dishes?
Yes, exactly. Except the dishes might be done. I gave her a lifetime sentence.
There you go.
Okay, so what were you saying, Pet Health Guru, before we got so rudely interrupted by our other studio?
Hey, the new space is the number one word we got on Saturday when we opened up. And it was a soft opening. Obviously, we're not totally set up yet. But the number one word that was said on Saturday was wow.
Whoa, I like that.
And the layout, everything else is just inspirational. It's so calming and soothing, and you want that feeling of warmth with your pets, obviously, because we have to calm them down. I mean, we have to calm down their parents. Pet parents are the worst, you know that.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. So since you brought that up, now it brought up a question for me I want to ask. Okay. What is your opinion of people feeling the need to bring their dogs everywhere? And even places they're not supposed to, and getting into arguments with the management about that they should be able to bring their dog there.
And I've been in the business for so long. I mean, I remember when I started, the dog was basically left in the backyard, and if it was bad weather, it came into the garage. And then we slowly moved our dogs into our house, and that was okay. And then all of a sudden, now the dog is eating dinner with us. The dog is sleeping in our bed, and now we have to take him every place that we go. We have to buy a stroller, or we have to have one. But on the other side of that, the training didn't keep up with that. It was easy to train a dog back then because they weren't getting all the junk food and all the pharmaceuticals and all of that sort of thing. Now you've got the behavior problems. And that's where so much of it stems. I mean, most places don't have a problem with dogs. I mean, some people do. They're germophobic and stuff like that. But for the most part, if it's a well-trained dog, it shouldn't be a problem.
That's true. So here's my other question for you then. So my daughter, she started getting into cats. The first cat was an outdoor cat that she ended up bringing indoors. Wasn't her cat. It was just a stray that came to the house all the time. Nobody claimed it. Now she will never let the cat out of the house. And I'm thinking to myself, that cat was an outside cat, and it's not. And she says, "Gotta watch the door when you walk in. She'll try run out. He'll try run out." And I'm thinking to myself, yeah. And I do say to her, yeah, because he was an outside cat. He doesn't want to be trapped in jail. He wants to go play. What's your thoughts, Bill?
Stop and think about it. We're doing the same thing with our kids. Nobody plays in the backyard. We got to take them to daycare.
I know, right? And give them an iPad. That's parenting in 2026. Give them an iPad. Oh, it so annoys me when, and I'll say it straight out, whether they're listening or not. But they're probably not listening because your kids never support you. You have to go find strangers to support you, And basically, I'll go out to dinner, and their idea of teaching kids how to act in a restaurant is to hand them their iPad.
Yeah.
How are they ever going to learn how to act in public or act in the restaurant if all they think of is being on their device?
That's right. And then, I see that, obviously because we have a company here, when I'm interviewing people for a job, they don't know how to interact with people anymore. It's you have to engage, if you're in any kind of sales, and you know this as well as anybody, you have to engage. You have to be able to string more than 4 words in a sentence and articulate an idea and a concept. And they don't even want to do that. They don't want to engage anybody. It's call a customer and tell them they can pick up their order. They're texting. They're not calling. Why didn't you just call them? It takes a lot less time. Well, you get the usual excuses. Well, what if they don't pick up? Well, then you call them again.
Or leave a voicemail.
What if they don't pick up? Oh, but nobody listens to voicemails anymore. I find that funny too. Well, then why you have voicemail if you're not listening to it? Okay, I don't get the whole concept of people not leaving voicemails or checking their voicemails. I know people that will never check their voicemail ever. Why?
Well, they have the voicemails have evolved to the point where if you open the voicemail, it'll give you a transcript of the voicemail, or they can forward it as a text message.
Oh, I have it. Yeah, that's what I have. It comes into my phone as voicemail, visual voicemail, but then it also sends me a text message of it.
I mean,
I think people nowadays,
everybody does calls, so you don't, to call them back.
Yeah, I think people nowadays, they're just afraid of hearing another human's voice, so they would rather read it instead of hearing it.
Yeah, and so much is lost in messaging and texting and all. I can't tell you how many times I have to explain sarcasm to people because I
Same.
texted something.
I have that same problem.
I had a discussion over the weekend here in the store, and it's like because we've got a lot of customers that are from upstate New York and Jersey, and that sort of thing. And it's like down here they have no idea about sarcasm, none whatsoever. It's like you're insulting me. It's like, yeah, I am, but in a good way.
Yeah, it's all in good fun. Listen, if I want to find the love of my life, she better be able to banter. That's the thing.
That's
Because
right, exactly.
if I say something sarcastic or I do some practical thing, if she's all serious with me, I'm like, I'm out. Because I think it's a sign of intelligence too. Like
It
if
is.
you can interpret what somebody's saying instead of getting insulted.
It's absolutely true, and I'm finding that out more and more every day.
And you talk about the North. I'm from New York and New Jersey, where, it's a term of endearment to tell somebody, go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
You say it to your friends, and then they hug you for it. Okay. Come on.
Yeah.
So what happens if you say, go fuck yourself to your dog? See, that's the thing about animals. Okay. It doesn't matter what the words are. Yeah. Well, that too, but the words, they mean nothing. It's how you say the words.
Exactly.
That's actually one of the things I like about people from like New York. They are very outspoken to like, if it's on their mind, they will say it.
Yeah.
They come across as assholes to a lot of people, but it's like, I would rather have the truth than, like a beautiful lie. The ugly truth is always better than a beautiful lie, in my opinion.
A perfect example is, okay, so I agree wholeheartedly, obviously, because I'm from there and I believe in that. People say New Yorkers are rude. No, you just know where you stand. They're actually one of the least rude people. You just don't understand them, and they're not gonna pussyfoot around with you, and they're not gonna try to, stroke you. They're gonna say it how it is. Now, I had somebody in Wellington when the restaurant Beef Wellington was there. We were hanging out. I was hanging out with this female, and she was talking all this shit about this other girl. And Wellington's small town, so of course, that girl walked up, because everybody used to go to the same place, different nights. And she got up, jumped up, and acted like this was her long lost best friend. This is a former co-host of the show, by the way. So I was really straight with her. Because when the girl walked away, I was like, what the fuck was that? And she goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, you were just talking shit about that girl, and you get up and treat her like she's your long-lost best friend. Oh, I was just being nice. I'm like, that's not being nice. That's making her think that you actually like her when you were just talking shit to her. You should have said what you said to me to her face, and she's like, yeah, I grew up in the South where we're taught to have manners. That's not manners. Saying bless your heart is not manners. It's lying, because everybody knows what you're saying. You're saying fuck you. Just say fuck you. Like, seriously, What about dogs? Okay. If you do the wrong thing, they're going to bark and growl at you. If you do the right thing, they're going to wag their tail. You know where you stand. Right?
Exactly.
So that should be another episode of how animals communicate with humans. And
it's interesting. Even when I walk the dog, it's like some people, you can tell right away the feeling that your animal has. They're backing away. They're not going to be engaging. That sort of thing. Then other people, they're like, "Hi, mommy, I got a new friend."
Right. I kind of laugh when you have dogs like my brother has a Labradoodle.
Right.
Which they do. I've never met one that isn't the friendliest dog on earth, man. And
Doodles are extraordinary animals. I mean, they're actually nuts. They're just their whole brain is out of whack. So they just they can be the best dog in the world. They don't want to be away from you. They're cuddling up to everybody. You know, they think you know, try to go to bed. No, you get this little corner here. The dog gets the whole rest of it.
He sees me and he goes berserk, like I'm his dad. Okay, and you know, but what's funny is sometimes we go places and people are like acting like he's a pit bull just because of his size. Like
because of the size, yeah.
You know, come on. Like the dog's like friendly as can be, and they're freaking out. Like, whoa. So strollers, you make me think of you all the time when I see people walking with strollers with their dogs, because I just remember walking into Fiesta Pet Deli and seeing all those strollers. And definitely, you know, the area you're in, it makes sense. All the Boca people near you, you know, that of course they all have strollers for their pets. What do you think about walking your cat on a leash?
There are people that do it a lot. If you train them when they're, you know, when they're young, when they're kittens, it's very, very doable with a lot of them.
Do you think, are you in agreement with it? I've seen it a lot too, but are you in agreement with it?
I don't have anything against it. I mean, you know, especially because of the dangers in the world today. You know, if you're going to take your cat outside, you know, even down here in South Florida, I mean, we have coyotes and, you know, Florida panthers that, and of course hawks.
Well, that's true.
That can just swoop down. I had a client come in one Saturday morning in tears. She had one of the feral cats had a litter of kittens, and she was out there, you know, observing them, looking at them, and a hawk swooped down and grabbed Mama and was gone. I mean, it can happen that fast.
Yeah, it does happen. Or owls are another one too. People don't realize you got to be really careful of owls. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of predators, you know, and of course, then you also have the predators that are people too. So it's, you know.
Or alligators. I've seen a lot of people like lose their puppies to alligators.
Yep. Yeah, that's popular. That's a popular sport down here. Now we also have Nile monitors and. You know,
oh yeah, we got everything.
Pythons.
If you want to go on a reality show and risk your life, Florida's the place to do it.
That's right.
So I want your opinion on something else, Pet Health Guru. What about these people that put their chihuahuas in their purse?
That put what?
Chihuahuas in a purse.
They got 4 legs for a reason.
Yeah, no wonder the chihuahuas are always like have this nasty personality. Like honestly, I would be too if I was trapped in a purse all the time.
Honestly, I would rather see someone walking a pit bull.
You know, when you look at a purse, I mean, it's like a crate or a carrier. That's their personal space. So, you know, they're going to protect it against everything. They don't have to deal with real life, you know, having to go up and greet somebody, you know.
See, I know we kind of went off the path, but I think these are all environmental influences on pets, okay? Because in the wild, they're not going in strollers. They're not going in purses. I just saw a movie on Netflix, an old movie. I've seen it before, but I saw it again recently. I forget the name of it, but it's with Sandra Bullock, and she forces this employee of hers to marry her so she can stay in the United States because she's going to get deported to Canada. And she goes to visit the family, and they have this dog. And so one of those little yappy dogs that did not like her at all. And when they don't like you, man, they are true ankle biters for sure. And so anyway, what happened is there was, I think it was an eagle, actually. It wasn't a hawk. It was an eagle. And it was stalking. She was outside. Dog was there. And the dog, it went to get the dog, and she saved the dog from the eagle getting it. But in the process, and this tells you about 2026, even though this movie's old, in the process, the eagle ended up taking her phone out of her hand. So then she should start offering the dog just to get her phone back. It kind of reminds me of when I was in Bali, and the monkeys, they'll steal your sunglasses and negotiate with you for the food that they want. Like if you give them the wrong food, they just throw it back at you, like till you give them the right thing. Like animals are so smart. So with everything that's going on right now with technology and how are all these environmental influences affecting our pets?
Well, between the pharmaceuticals, obviously, the food, and then you throw in the 5G and the 6G and the 10G and all the, microwaves and everything else, their brains are getting scrambled. That's why we see so many behavioral problems. It's a buildup of all this stuff over time.
Yeah.
And, it's just like with people, we have to continuously look at doing detoxification and proper nutrients in our body so that our body can defend itself. And the dog and cat have to do the same exact thing. And, and even in wildlife, I mean, we're seeing a lot of areas like up north now um, with white-tailed deer that they're coming down with these really what they're calling wasting disease, where they're just falling apart because all the forage that they're eating has all been sprayed, with glyphosate and all the Roundup products and all that stuff, GMO, and then they're going into the fields and eating GMO crops, soy and corn plants. It's good. It's just affecting the whole world.
Yeah, totally. And I have to say too, it's like they don't have a choice. We have a choice, and we're just like ruining their world without them having a choice with all this crap.
I have seen people like treat their dogs better than their kids, and I mean like to the point where the dog
That was my mother.
not having like a healthy lifestyle. Like I've seen people walking around, like you said, with a dog in the stroller, and someone come up to them and said, "Oh, how old is she?" And they say 7. Oh, 7 months? No, 7 years. And they look in the stroller and like, "Oh, it's a dog. I thought it was a baby." So like in the wild, dogs are not being pushed around in a stroller. They're out running, hunting. They have an active lifestyle. Versus what we have now, they're just being lazy, getting fat, and it's not good for their health. They need to be out running more.
Yeah. I mean, as you mentioned with Fiesta Pet Deli, we sold strollers and of course had them in it. That was more out of necessity because the shopping center would not allow dogs on the ground. They had to be either in a carrier or in something else. And it was just happened to be one of those necessities that we stumbled on that obviously was excellent for our business because then people could bring their dogs in. And, there's still a lot of places out there that don't allow animals, on property. Unless they're service animals.
And they should stop letting human beings in because most of them are animals.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Well, the case that I'm talking about happened at a public park where dogs are allowed, but they're the humans are walking around to get their exercise in, but they're pushing a stroller with the dog in it.
Yes.
So it's like you're getting your exercise. What about your dog?
In the mall, we used to get that all the time. The dog's in the stroller, and the kids are on a leash.
Yeah, I hate the leash thing. Oh my God, does that bother me? Like, if you need to put a leash on your kid when you go somewhere, then maybe that's not a place you should be going because if you can't watch your kid.
Well, it speaks to your parenting style, right? Because instead of teaching and coaching, you would rather just restrain.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. And then you wonder why the kids are like, not nice. I wouldn't be nice if I was chained up all the time too. So I have another question about environmental, Bill. Okay. So way back in the beginning of all this environmental problems of causing problems, they came out with this new invention called the microwave. Mm-hmm. Before that, there wasn't really much that really you worried about like that. And then it was like, oh, got to worry about the radiation. Now nobody gives a crap about the radiation from the microwave, okay? But I just have to ask if this scenario, a real life scenario, is a bad environmental influence on a pet. My granddaughter, I think she was about 2. She used to take the kitchen chair, put it up to the microwave, and take the cat and put it in the microwave and hit the button. I bust her chops about it now because she's like a lot older now. And we would catch it in a couple seconds, okay? But what would happen? Seriously, though, what would happen if you took a cat and put it in the microwave for 10 seconds?
10 seconds. It'd be very, very, number one, they'd be very, very disturbed. Because their energy being would be being altered. So you get really weird behavior. How soon would it kill them? I have no idea.
I'm thinking it's like those cartoons where we're kids, where the cat, like, all four of their arms or legs are spread out like this, their nails are out, and their hair's standing up, and they're that's what I imagine.
Just like
I have
through the
not
window.
had an experiment on any animals so far.
So
I think if we're talking about like radiation exposure, I think our internet and our phones are more destructive than the actual microwave itself.
well, yeah, the microwave was just the beginning. That was the first thing to destroy us.
Yeah, it was just it's such a concentrated form of energy, and it just scrambles basically the molecules. That's really what it does. So you can end up with any kind of thing, hemorrhaging, or your eyes pop out of your head, whatever. It's like but look what they do in the hospitals. They're running you through a microwave anyway. It's called a CAT scan or a CT scan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Even an X-ray, they tell you can't get X-rays too often because of the radiation.
Yeah.
That might explain a lot about Rebel. Just saying. So what would you say, Bill, are the top 3 negative environmental influences on pets today?
Top 3, of course, environmental. Lawn chemicals, number 1, probably, because they're walking on it, they're absorbing it through their pets, everything else. All those chemicals that way. Of course, the chemtrails and everything else, which contribute actually to that. They're living in a very, very toxic world down there, and we had most of the time wear shoes, and so we're not absorbing those toxins through the skin. And of course, the other part of that is the animal can't complain. The only complaint we see is when they're dying. The body's just falling apart. And
that's
I have staff members that walk in every day that are sick. I mean, it's like, okay, well, you got to clean up your environment. That's how you're going to stay healthy. But yeah, that's number 1 with pets is all that. Then of course, when you go on the inside, all the cleaning products. I saw a report this past weekend on the worst dishwashing detergents. And it's all major brands. They're all known carcinogens. And that film is on every bit of your cookware and your eating ware. Your forks, your knives, your plates, they're all coated. There's always a residual. And you're doing this 365 days a year.
So I got to say, there's another thing that really bothers me is that, there's this big thing nowadays that marijuana is now legal, and it was done before it was legal, but I think it's even more, where pet owners are literally like giving their dogs edibles or blowing smoke in their face. And pot is totally toxic to an animal, totally toxic to a dog and cat. And I don't understand people really. Why do we keep doing things to animals that and I thought it's because what you said, they can't say anything, that can't tell you anything and can't stop you from doing it.
Yeah. It's basically, I think the bulk of it is people want to be entertained. So they do this strange stuff to their animals to see what kind of weird behavior they're going to get. And then they sit there and laugh about it until the animal falls over dead.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's terrible. Well, I'll tell you what happens to me when I jump in the microwave, because the pipe man has to test these things out. This is what happens to me.
Absolutely.
That is a
10
lot
sec-
of radiation.
10 seconds in the microwave, and that's me. But hey, makes for a better show.
That's right.
So, Bill, tell everybody how they can reach out to you. Check out My Paleo Pet. Check out Pet Health Cafe, podcast, live show, everything. And the new location. Tell people to go there or they can't listen to my show.
That's right. Everybody's got to come down to the new location in Pompano Beach. The address is on all of our media, social media, that sort of thing. Double the size. Like I said, the wow factor's there. And, you can reach us also on Pet Health Cafe, the podcast every Thursday at live, and of course 24/7 on YouTube, Spotify, and a number of other places. And we've got a lot of exciting things going to go on here at the at My Paleo Pet. Actually, we're incorporating in also the Pet Health Cafe logo and educational center into it. So we'll have live events, live broadcasts, Zoom calls, guests coming in to help you with, all kinds of health problems. We're going to be doing a lot more stuff with your health, pet parent health as well. Because if you're not healthy, you can't help your pet. And that's a big, big part of it. We want people to be healthy too. So we don't like to deal with nutcases.
I like to deal with nutcases, but not when it comes to pets.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, a wealth of information. You are, Pet Health Guru, and you are like you're the messiah to pets everywhere. That's what I call it. And everybody needs to check you out and learn how to have a healthy, happy pet. Listen to the Pet Health Cafe, where your pet has a voice. We may not understand the voice, but your pet has a voice.
We had an extremely conversation about that. Yes, that's how it got started. Because your pets couldn't start, and you and I came up with it. You named me the guru, so what can I say?
You are the guru of all gurus. So thank you, Pet Health Cafe. Thank you, Pet Health Guru. Thank you, Bill. Pleasure. And always thank you, My Paleo Pet. And now, don't go away, because we do have still some ticket giveaways for Louder Than Life and Aftershock. And after that, we're going to talk about cash management for your business. Roll it, Juan.
Louder Than Life, North America's loudest rock and metal festival, returns to Louisville this September with My Chemical Romance, Iron Maiden, Tool, Limp Bizkit, plus Pantera, Pierce the Veil, Gojira, Papa Roach, and more. Nearly 200 bands across 7 stages. Louder Than Life at the Kentucky Expo Center, September 17th through 20th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at louderthanlifefestival.com. Aftershock, the West Coast's largest rock, metal, and punk festival, returns to Sacramento this October with My Chemical Romance, Tool, Limp Bizkit, Pierce the Veil, plus Suicide Boys, Queens of the Stone Age, The Offspring, A Day to Remember, Wu-Tang Clan, and more. Aftershock, October 1st through 4th. Passes are on sale now, starting at only $1 down at AftershockFestival.com.
Hey, you're listening to The Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.
This is Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman, W4CY Radio, with our Positively Pipeman segment, and specifically our resident expert in business with some powerful business strategies. So let's welcome to the show, Michael Barbarita from Next Step CFO. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you for having me, Dean. So today I want to talk about the lifeblood of a business, cash management. And before I go into the detail, let me just tell you a little story. So when I was in the ski business, and you can imagine the seasonality of a ski business, the ski business really runs, we used to let it run from the end of July. We actually had a sale in July to kick off the season. and it ran essentially to the end of March. Now, people were still skiing in April, so I don't want to, and people should still continue to ski in April. I don't want to discourage anybody, but from a retailer standpoint, that was generally the season. And we closed for the summer. And we closed for the summer because if we sold any summer goods, we would have carryover in it.
Yeah.
And we were ski specialists. This was a ski specialty store. We didn't sell aqualungs in the summertime. We didn't sell, bikes or any of that summer stuff. And the reason is because we weren't good at it. The sell-through was always lousy, even for my competitors who did it. And you always have carryover, and that carryover is cash that's sitting in inventory.
Mm.
So what we did is we closed, period. We paid our people a legitimate salary, for the 39 weeks of the ski season, whatever it was. And they loved it, by the way. They got 3 months off.
It's like teachers.
Right, that's right. It was just like it was very similar, and they loved it. But at any rate, it was because of cash management, because we didn't want to have carryover in areas that we weren't even specialists in, that we would sell very little of.
Well, not only that, but you got bills that you still have to pay, like turning the power on and everything else, where you're not generating revenue.
That's right. Now, here's the thing. We never, ever used or touched our line of credit.
That's impressive.
Right. And the reason, right, I mean, a totally seasonal business closed 3 months out of the year, and we never, ever touched our line of credit. And the reason is because of our cash management. And what that cash management involved was negotiation with the vendors. So we would buy, so what we would do, Dean, is we would sell through as much as we could from July to December. Okay. And then in January, February, and March, we would buy closeouts or inline product, but it would always be dated in September, October.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would sell all that product and not have to pay any bills on it. That would finance our summer. And then when we had our big sales in September, we would easily be able to pay for the product that we already sold. And so it just worked out famously. But it's all about understanding your revenue inflow with your payout, with your cash disbursements. That's all it is.
And I think it's true of any business, really, and any industry, not just a seasonal one, because every business has ups and downs. And I can certainly relate because I used to be in retail in the pool and spa business, which was the exact opposite of your season. So, the store used to sell Christmas stuff during the winter, but you didn't really make money. The business didn't make money. The salespeople didn't make money. So you had to learn how to manage your income and not, and realize to amortize it over the year. And so I would sock away money for those winter times that were light.
Right. And right. And that was smart. But, and you had it. That's another thing. You had it to save. So that really makes a big difference when you're managing your inflow and your outflow. A lot of business owners don't understand. And by the way, as a retailer at the time, I don't know if they even do it now, but we used to have layaways where people would put 50% down and pay in 30 days. So we had receivables. Those were receivables.
Yeah.
So we had to manage, even though we're a retailer, we had to manage receivables. And at the time, this is in the Stone Ages, of course, but at the time, it used to take 2 days for the credit cards to clear. Now it usually just takes a day, but it used to take 2. So
sometimes longer.
Sometimes, American Express was always longer. They were paying.
Still is.
Right. So so that was a problem then too. We had to manage those receivables, and so we had receivables, and obviously we had payables, but they were managed because we negotiated. and we negotiated the terms, and we might have bought a little more sometimes, but it wasn't more than what we needed. It was because we knew that when we bought something in January and February, we'd sell it all by September.
There you go.
We were pretty confident about that. But I want to just name another couple of places where cash has hiding places. Prepaid expenses. What does that mean? Well, a lot of people pay for trade shows in advance. They pay for insurance in advance, so they don't have to pay any kind of finance fees. Those things are prepaid, and those have to be considered in your cash flow calculations. The other hiding place is capital expenditures. When you put $5,000 down on a $30,000 truck, or that's a cheap truck, $50,000 truck, $60,000 truck, you put 10 grand down, you have to account for that 10 grand. That doesn't show up on the P&L. That's on the balance sheet, okay, as an asset. So you have to be careful. The same thing with prepaid expenses. That's not on the P&L. That's on the balance sheet. So you don't see it there. You might make money, but your cash is flow. It might be because your prepaid expenses are high or your capital expenditures were high, your outlay associated with it. Now, in the example I gave you, 10,000 down, $60,000 truck, that's a 50K loan. No problem. The 50K part is no problem, but the 10K is. Because that was an outlay. That was an outlay. The other thing where there's opportunity for cash is in customer deposits. Take deposits. That'll increase your cash flow. So these are the cash management opportunities that we found so that we didn't have to go into our line of credit. We had a $400,000 line of credit. We didn't go into it once. And we didn't have to because we managed our cash that effectively. And anyone can do that.
Well, another thing too is like my dad used to do in his spa business. He didn't want people to pay in full. He wanted them to only pay a deposit because the other thing is what if somebody changes their mind by the time they get a delivery and then you have to give them back a refund that you may not have. Right. So this way, he took small deposits. So if that ever happened, it wasn't a big deal. But also on the other side, he had cash flow coming in because as deliveries would go out, you got the cash flow coming in that you didn't already spend because you had it paid in full. Didn't have it.
Right. Got it. No, I mean, it's all about understanding what your flow is.
Yeah.
If you understand how money comes in and goes out, it's manageable. But it might take some negotiation with vendors. It might take or with customers, depending upon your situation. But if you understand the flow, then you should have no problems.
I've also found generally that your months that your flow of revenue is the lowest, your flow of expenses is usually the highest. There's a lot of times in certain industries, including mine, where a bulk of your annual bills are in one specific month.
Right. That's definitely difficult. But you know it in advance. You do know it in advance. And so it can be manageable because you know it in advance. A lot of business owners don't really put it out that foresight that's needed in order to manage a situation like that. So they get surprised by it.
Absolutely.
Or they make excuses that it's going to come and that's the end of it. I got to manage it when it comes. You don't have to manage it when it comes if you manage it before it comes.
Exactly. We learned that in Boy Scouts, preparation.
That's right.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
So how do people reach out to you for more information on this and other powerful business strategies that can help them immensely?
Well, Dean, I'd like them to go to our website, nextstepcfo.net. I'd like them to go in the right-hand corner where they can have, it is an orange button that says Find Hidden Revenue in less than 10 minutes. And that is by taking an AI business assessment. It takes less than 10 minutes to do. There's no judgment. There's just good answers. And those answers come in the form of 3 strategies that you're not implementing, that are hiding in your business, with an explanation of how to implement those strategies. So it's a tremendous tool to be able to just get, start thinking strategically.
Yeah.
And this tool will drive that. It takes less than 10 minutes to do. Less than 10 minutes. I've had business owners do them as little as 5 minutes, and most of them, the average is about 7 minutes. So you could do it at any time. It's free. You could do it in the middle of the night if you want to, but you'll get the answers that it'll get you thinking. I'll tell you that I can tell you.
Well, amazing. Once again, immense help to our businesses out there in the world. And I really look forward to next week because that's one of my favorite subjects, and that's mindset. So we'll see you then.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipeman on W4CY Radio.